Hello ladies and gentlemen, Azakai here, bringing you another video for Conqueror's Blade, published by Porus Interactive. We're looking at the update log for July the 4th, and so we got, again, this was probably going to be a running thing from now on, but they've changed the time from 12 to 3. Now it is 1400 to 1700, which is 2 to 5. It's not terrible. It's just not great. High time is 6 o'clock. When 6 o'clock hits, that is high time. That's where probably the most people pop on, and then you get a drop off around about 12, probably early 10. But anyway, we got the maintenance time running from 1400 to 1700, so that's going to be 3 hours. It's Beijing time UTC plus 8 on July the 4th. You get compensated with 8,000 bronze coin, 300 honor, and 15 unit medals. They're running an event, which doesn't have a name, but it's upgrade your gear and get ready for more battles. The new exchange event is on. I believe, and again, like I'm not sure if the event has a name, but like these Virginia stamps makes me want to call it the Virginia. Man, that's a terrible name, by the way. Well, in English. Warlords can collect the item Regina Stamp by playing siege battles, no drop limit. Warlords can upgrade a certain number of um, rare equipment schematics to epic hero schematic crates by consuming Regina Stamps. You can get a maximum of 5 epic schematic crates. Note, the bound rare equipment schematics in inventory will be consumed first in the exchange. If they are insufficient, unbound rare equipment schematics will be used to make up the required amount. So this goes from fourth of the set. Like again, I hate the fact that they like changed this, but it goes from the 4th of the 7th. I'm just going to, after maintenance, to the 18th of the 7th before maintenance. So you get about 2 weeks. Exchange interface will be available until the 25th of the 7th before maintenance. So this part here was probably pertain to the Virginia stamp. The exchange interface will be open, so if you have the stamps, you can exchange, but you won't be able to get any more stamps after the 18th. Now we have total spending rewards has started early. Oh, that's interesting. Spend a total of 500 sovereign. This doesn't help. This does not help at all. That means the Virginia stamps that they're asking you to get is a high number. But anyway, spend a total of 500 sovereigns. You get 100 Virginia stamps, 5 equipment selection boxes, for spend a total of 1,000 sovereigns, get 100 Virginia stamps and common payoff voucher. To spend a total of 2,000 sovereigns, you get Virginia stamps. 200 Virginia equipment selection box times 10. I believe this equipment selection box might. I'm thinking it's a rare equipment schematic selection box or something. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. They're using different names here. They're using like a new name here that I'm not um sure what it's asking for or what it is. Then you spend a total of 3,000 sovereigns for another 200 and heroic epics times 5. You spend 5,000 so you get 400 stamps and 15 advanced equipment selection boxes. Again, not sure what it's referring to. Spend a total of 10,000 sovereigns, you get 1,000 Virginia stamps and 1 pure spirit. Goes from 25th to it goes from the 4th to the 25th. So you got 3 weeks. Third event of this is the entire treasure rotation. So you got the Angelic Duality and Lords of the Sand are now available. in their relevant tire treasures. So you have, of course, the legendary longsword one, and you have the legendary glaive one. The legendary glaive one's still sticking around. So we have the Doctrine full rotations. The steel tipped ground is now available. In the steel tipped ground, the chance of excavate epic javelin infantry doctrine is increased. So this goes from the 4th to the 18th. Um, Challenge pack rotation for LA, DI, JC, SG, and EX, not referring to Khan. Dynasty Tyranny and Highlander challenge packs are now available in store. The Legacy of Fire, Scourge of Winter, and Wolves of Ragnarok challenge packs have been taken off the shelves. This goes from the 4th to the 18th. Now we also have the 5-star unit, the Sunward Phalanx pre-order pack now available. So you got the 4-order one, original price being 4,000, now discounted to 2,800. Then you got the deluxe pack, the 7-order one for discounted from 7,000 down to 4,900. Again, if you want to get them straight away, I know I'm going to get them straight away, so I'm going to be purchasing them. I do think like I do think that I'm probably part of the problem because now I'm working and I can't be bothered to like do challenges anymore, even though some of the challenges are really easy and I probably could chew down this price to like basically nothing if I just did most of the challenges. I'd probably only have to like pay out 1 to 200 sovereigns per challenge, so I'd be like I could drop this down to like probably $10. But yeah, again, make it easy for yourself. Don't struggle when you don't need to. I mean, I say that, but again, you don't have to spend money on the game if you don't want to. And definitely they make it easy enough to kind of do all the challenges. You just have to be slightly better than everyone else. That's the other thing. So, yeah. There's going to be times where it's going to be difficult to complete certain challenges. I know that like God of War is pretty difficult. Get 5 kills without dying. The 160, the Deadly Century one's also pretty difficult, especially in higher tiers. A bit iffy. Yeah, if you have the new one, but yeah. Then you also got like stupid ones where it's just like, oh, say cheese. If you have plenty of artillery grape shots, just plant plant down like 50 or like a billion, and you'll just kill 2 of them eventually. That being said, we'll continue on. Obviously these will only last. Oh, yeah, until the 14th. Surprisingly, it lasts until the 14th. So obviously in 2 weeks' time, on the 15th, we'll have tier 5s unlocked. But so far, we'll still have tier 4s, and honestly, tier 4s are not as bad as I thought it would be. There's still a little bit of things you can mess around with, but it is kind of like meta in your face kind of things. You'll definitely have a very common You'll have very common units that you'll run up against, unlike in tier 3 where the number of units just there was just a lot of units. So we have adjustments and optimization, system adjustments and optimization, server status display, optimize the display of latency number and the number of players on the server in the login interface. Bulk unboxing display, fix the issue where the quantity of bronze coins chests would not display in preview of bulk unboxing. U interface in the barracks in the U interface training unit training button have been added for players to right click on a unit in the barracks page to enter the unit training section. Hmm. Unit panel. So does this like auto send you to unit training? Hmm. Unit panel fixed the issue where the highest casualty count in the unit's career exceeded the number of people in the. Oh man, I had this issue. One of my Varangian guards apparently died like 36 times. Oh, and my Siphonarios has died like 48 times. Oh, I think that was like from one of the AI things that kind of like sent the data to my existing units or something. Region capital teleport. LADIJCSG, the transportation feature from the NPC courier in Conqueror City has been enabled. Players can now directly travel to Tulavaros and Constantinopolis through the NPC. Additionally, transportation to Conqueror City from other region capitals will be available through couriers. And probably one of the biggest and most longest section, and I'm happy for it, but this is very interesting because I don't think these are adjustments to say that they're fixed. Okay, let me just read out the first part. Unit adjustments. Fix the issue where the description of the nodes was inconsistent with the actual effect in some units. This is where I think they're wrong. There are in some cases where it could be right, and some cases I think they're wrong. Now, why I think they're wrong is because I think some of these are actually changes instead of adjustments. Now, let's read this together and put it like this. Like I'm going to I'm going to have another video. It's going to be in the description and it's going to be unlisted. So it's going to be a video where I kind of just go through a couple of things that we can just check for, but some of these things won't be able to, how to say, check. Something like, again, increase minimum high ground damage bonus by 20%. What's minimum high ground damage bonus? Anyway, so Rattan pikeman adjusted the description for the second to last node, deep, bone deep at the bottom in the veterancy. Before, reduce damage taken from poison by 5%. After, reduces damage taken from poison by 15%. This is wrong, by the way. They they increase the amount from 5 to 15, but the description is still wrong. Burn Deep refers to the debuff applied by the poison for Rattan Pikeman. Now, this could be a increase, this could be an actual fix, because at some point, Rattan Pikeman and Rattan Vipers were adjusted so that their base or their innate thing was quite, how to say, strong. It was stronger. It was like something like 15% or something for each stack, by the way. Each stack is adds another debuff. I'm not sure if it stacks multiplicatively or it stacks additively. I just know it stacks. Now, again, no way of actually truly testing this because you would need the large range of numbers you would get is really difficult to test for. That being said, Ironcap Aquabusiers adjusted the description for the third node like clockwork at the upper line in veterancy. This before it increases rate of fire by 10%, after increases rate of fire by 12%. I'll be running just like two tests, see how fast they fire. If tomorrow they faster, cool. If they faster the same, whatever. It's just a fix. If they do fire faster, I mean like a 2% increase, they'll lose around about 2 seconds. Um, I think they take over 2 minutes to shoot. And of course, you have the Demez Archers. No one uses these guys anyway. Besides, they have some of the best formation. I mean, it has the coolest formation. It has the shield wall formation, but like adjusted the description of sentry at the upper line in veterancy. Before increases minimum high ground damage bonus by 15%. After increases minimum high ground damage bonus by 20%. I honestly do not know what the upper limits and what's the lower limits even mean for high ground damage bonus. Does that mean like the higher they are, the more damage they'll deal, or like if their elevation is very slight, that they'll still get at least 20%, or it's just like I don't know, like I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about the high ground damage bonuses, and I don't think there's very many people. I don't think anyone really understands how the high ground bonuses work. only know that we only know that they exist because like you can have things like longbow, musket, and shortbow both receiving high ground bonuses, but what's this minimum like? What's this minimum damage bonus, or like what it pertains to the Mez archers? Honestly, don't know. And is this a fix? Is this a buff? Like what they're saying here is that all of these are technically fixes, meaning that nothing changes. Mind you, nothing is technically supposed to change with all of these things. These are supposed to fix the description, which are incorrect, to now the correct description. But that doesn't seem to be the case as you go further along. For the best spearman, adjust the description for the second node, shoulder to shoulder, at the bottom line in Veteran C. Before, each level increases damage dealt by 12%, while in a non-dispersed formation, each level increases piercing armor penetration by 15%, piercing damage by 15%, and minimum damage dealt by 6% while in a non-dispersed formation. There's like this could like this could be separate, this could be separate, this could be separate, like, or these could all be tied together and this would be conditional. Like, I honestly don't know. I don't know anything that would suggest that this is happening. Like, it's very difficult to understand why, like, why are they getting penetration? Like, it makes sense. Like, while in non-dispersed formation, they just get a bunch of bonuses. And it's just like, cool. They're in some kind of brace thing, so them getting these bonuses makes sense. And it just made sense that it's just like dealt 12% more damage. Why make it so complicated though? Like on the technical aspect, this is super complicated because it's a whole bunch of bonuses. And I'm pretty sure shoulder to shoulder, um, it's not a single level. I think this is the multi-level one. But also, why non-dispersed formation? This if the condition is if this condition for all of this effect is to be while in non-dispersed, is to have it in shield wall or turtle formation, then no one would ever do that because like unless it applies during advance. But wouldn't they just instantly break out of formation the moment they come into contact with enemy? Who knows? So that is food for thought. And again, I definitely love to get more answers to some of my questions, but will we figure it out? Will I be able to figure it out? I don't know. I'm just gonna do a run. I'm just gonna run some tests and just run some comparisons tomorrow and see if it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So both of the videos will be put in the description once they're done. But yeah. So we have Demez Javelineers. And again, this is the part where it's just like are these actual description fixes or buffs? Adjusted the description of aimed strike node in mastery. So before it only like I don't even think it even slowed people. Sometimes it would, sometimes it doesn't. So um, javelins slow enemies by 80% for 4 seconds. Javelin slow enemy. So after javelin slow enemies by 80% for 4 seconds and deal an additional 600 piercing damage. And it adjusted the description of the challenge node in mastery. So before, increased javelin armor penetration against infantry by 600. After, increases javelin piercing damage against infantry by 600. So there's a difference between armor penetration and piercing damage. Piercing damage will have a much higher effect on low armor stuff, while armor penetration would have a higher effect on high armor guys. But I'll be honest, most javelins have over 2,000 penetration, and there's not very many units where you're dealing again like in a one-to-one scenario. you're kind of questioning how much I'm adding to pen is like 600 in this case to like 2000 to how much damage I'm adding. If my piercing damage goes from, let's say, 30,000, I mean not 30,000, 3,000 to 3,600 versus pen, which increases their like again like, oh no, I mean like in this case if it's like 600, I get slightly more because if I'm hitting something like Iron Reapers, that is something that has over like 1,000 armor, I get 600 increase armor penetration against infantry. In this case, Iron Reapers. My damage will increase by like 30-ish%. Like I'm like actually dealing like 30. I'm like actually doing 30% increased damage against these guys. In comparison to the 600, which gets cut by their probably gets cut by their armor anyway. So there's this comparison thing. So with the penetration, I would get like 900 increase. With the um, piercing damage, um, it'd probably be something like 300. Wow, that is very strange when we try to make comparisons with piercing armor and piercing damage penetration. So yeah, regardless of that. Now we have apparently fixes, but like I have no way of actually testing this properly. But adjust the description of the first. I mean, you could just have these guys just wail on you with longsword, but who's going to kind of adjust to see like a quarter of an increase? I say quarter of an increase. Yeah, this is a quarter of an increase because they already increased it by 100% and they added an additional 50%. So they're increasing the actual buff by 50%, but the actual effect only increases the total amount by a quarter, by 25%. So yeah. So you'll only see a 25% increase of the total, not 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 like a 50% increase in the actual effect. Well, there's a 50% increase in the actual effect, but only 25% in the actual performance. So just keep that in mind. Similarly, same with the Village Watchman, you only get about 15% increase in block break, but again, really, are these fixes or are these buffs? I don't think that they needed these buffs, but sure, why not? Give it to them. These two are really weak units anyway. No one brings them except for fodder. And again, just changes that make no sense at the same time, kind of. Like, has this always been the case, or has this always been the case, or is just like um are they fixing? Like, this could be another fix scenario. So for Spear Militia, just a description of the first no shoulder to shoulder at the bottom veterancy line, so increases damage by dealt by 8% while in non-dispersed formation is actually, well, is it actually supposed to increase armor piercing penetration by 8% and piercing damage by 8% while in a non-dispersed formation? Like, that's how it reads. That's how it looks like it reads, and that's how it looks like it's supposed to work out. So like while in a non-dispersed formation, they're actually supposed to be dealing way more damage, like more than just 8% and in more than just 8% increased damage. So we have the same thing, adjusted the description of the fifth node, shoulder to shoulder at the bottom line in the veteran C, increases damage dealt by 16% while in a non-dispersed formation. Each level actually, so each level increases piercing armor penetration by 16%, piercing damage by 16% while in a non-dispersed formation. Demez Pikeman, like, if this is what's actually happening, this is like whatever. Like, all of these things are just like, why are you fixing all of these veteran C nodes if you're not changing anything? Like, the fixes mean nothing because like you could have changed these things and no one would have noticed. notice the difference because these are all just description fixes. Adjust the description for the third to last node shoulder to shoulder at the middle line in veterancy before increased damage dealt by 16% while in a non-dispersed formation. After increases damage dealt by 12% while in a non-dispersed formation. Adjust the description from the second to last node force at the middle line in veterancy before in before it increased armor penetration by 10% while in a non-dispersed formation. After increases armor penetration by 20% while in a non-dispersed formation. Hero adjustment. Musket. Heroes equipped with a musket will have their weapon in a fully loaded state by default when they enter a campaign for the first time or after respawning again. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they tried to fix this before, but why is it still bugged? Like, I swear we saw this change a while back, but maybe it had not been fixed. It had not been fixed. Bug fix and optimization. Fix the issue where the names did not change after fully upgrading the node on the bottom line in the Zwangia Heavy Cavalry Veterancy. Fix the issue with a normal ladder placement on the border fort map, causing heroes to enter the interior of the wall. Wow, that's interesting. I've never seen that. Um, Maybe this particular ladder I've never seen or gone up it. Fix the issue where abnormal terrain in Hidden City could prevent units from passing through. Not sure. I played Hidden City quite a bit. The new map, the new background could have affected something on Hidden City, but I'm just. Oh wait, I remember. The bug. Right. There was this weird bug where when the attackers spawn in, their units would get stuck on the outer section and it would just be and then they'd just be like trapped. They'd be trapped in from this invisible wall thing because there's probably some kind of disconnect where the maps for the outskirts and the map for Hidden City just didn't match up. So there's probably like a single there's like probably like a there's probably like an unmapped area on there's probably like an unmapped area in terms of like AI pathing in Hidden City. So that's interesting. Fix the issue where the Hippocratic Oath Rune did not have an effect on Mercy of Heaven 1 and Mercy of Heaven 2. That's surprising, but regardless, I think most of the time, most people should already be max level, so this would only be realistically affecting those that are in the newbie server and of course newbies. So with that being said, I I'm just gonna run some checks. Not sure if anyone really gonna care about the checks in game. I really I'm interested in like why they are doing these description fixes and actually like it's fun that they're telling us, but it's just like some of these things are just really weird. Like a minor mistake, like, oh, it's instead of increasing by 10%, it was actually 12%. Oh, damage taken from poison, actually 15% instead of 5%. Minimum harm grind, like, yeah. But this is like completely changes the definition of how this works. Like, hmm. Especially for the Mez Pikeman, like while in form dispersed formation, that arm penetration by 20%, that's a huge amount. But yeah. But also it's just like why is the shoulder to shoulder to this one increases damage dealt by 12% in comparison? Like Demez Pikeman probably already has enough penetration, so but for the Spear Militia and for the Demez Spearmen, I mean like Demez Spearmen have sacrifice, so they're dealing actual damage, but uh both don't stay in dispersed formation. Like this will be interesting. Like arm penetration. This arm penetration is more important than the piercing damage because they already increased the damage, so this double whammy just makes them this makes this node twice as effective basically. But again, it's still restricted by the non-dispersed formation. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. But other than that, my name's Atsuka. Have a nice day. Bye for now.